Hello, welcome back to another Actualize After Hours. We're going to be playing the werewolf game today with our newest lead instructor. Amanda is here joining us. Thank you, Amanda, for being here, for being your sneaky werewolf self. She's definitely the werewolf. We all know it. Today, I have prepared some ambient music from independent artists whose creative licensing is free here. So we're going to try to play some music in the background and see how that goes. I think it's going to be good. So here I am. If you don't know the rules of One Night Ultimate Werewolf, firstly, we are playing an online version of the game, which is pretty sweet. Somebody made this website. I wish I could give them credit. I'm sure it's somewhere. But someone made this really cool website and basically allows you to play the One Night Ultimate Werewolf game online. If you don't know the rules of the game, I can link the rules down below in the YouTube channel. Also, you can go to our previous segment and watch us play where I explain all the rules to everyone and all that good stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and give the room code to all of my people here. All right, so everyone should have the room code now. I am in the room. I'll wait for the other 4 players to join in the room. So the premise of the werewolf game is basically you can be a werewolf or you can be a villager, and you have to lie to your friends to try to convince them that you're not a wolf. And it's great. So I'm going to start one of these songs as soon as we start our game here. And we'll see how it sounds. Okay, I only have 4 songs, so they're just going to repeat in the background. It's going to be great. Okay, you guys are all in. All right, so I have to start the game. I have to choose the roles. Okay, there's 5 of us total. So that means we're going to have 2 werewolves, 1 seer, 1 robber, 1 troublemaker, and I think maybe just 3 villagers, right? Do you think we should do anything different?
So 2 werewolves, 3 villagers.
2 werewolves, 3 villagers. It's really easy to claim villager in this scenario. We could add in the insomniac instead of a villager.
I'm cool if you want to try. I think I like a straightforward kind of thing, but
you want to try it with just villagers and see how that goes?
Well, have you done that before? Is it really boring when you don't have those extra players?
No, it's not boring. It's just you can kind of get to a like I'm a villager. I don't have anything. Yeah, everyone just says villager and like nothing happens, you know?
Right. Well, what I like about it
last time.
Yeah, but what I like about that is like, I'm used to playing like Mafia and other style games where it's like it's literally just about trying to figure out if somebody's lying. You know what I mean? Like the other cards can make it so confusing just in terms of like, okay, but it could be this and it could be that, and if you don't know all the different roles really well, you can get completely screwed. Like Dani destroyed us in that last round because none of us really, were familiar with all the cards. So you literally like flip everybody's roles on their heads.
Yeah. You can attribute it to I didn't know the game, didn't know the rules. You got crushed, and you know it. All right, we'll start with 3 villagers. We'll see how that goes, and if that's like if we get to like a push comes to shove impasse,
I think it's a good way to start.
Unstoppable force meets an immovable object. Then maybe we'll mix it up a little bit. So we'll try with this. So again, we're just gonna play with 2 werewolves, 3 villagers, and then we have 3 sort of interesting roles: the seer, the robber, and the troublemaker. These are all village team players, and they basically can do all sorts of fancy things. Seer gets to choose. Just as a reminder to you guys, the seer,
just for the people who are maybe tuning in for the first time, weren't here last week,
aka for Brian, right?
And me.
So the seer can do one of 2 things. She gets 2 choices. She can either look at 2 of the middle cards that aren't being used, because there's 8 cards total, which means each of us gets 1 card. There's 3 that are called the center cards, because usually when you play in person, they're in the middle. But they're just 3 unused cards. They're deck cards. So the seer can either look at 2 of the middle cards that aren't player cards, and she gets a lot of information, or the seer gets to look at 1 player's card to see what role they are. But keep in mind, if the seer does look at a player's card, that player's role could change throughout the night. So my recommendation, especially for first-time players, if you are the seer, look at the 2 middle cards. Don't choose a single player's card to look at. It's not actually as useful, in my opinion. As soon as you get into like, 1 player is like really crafty, you can start looking at that player's card. For now, with this setup, I would recommend looking in the middle. You can always look at my card if you want to. The robber gets to choose a card, gets to swap cards with somebody. So the robber basically gets to trade if they want to, but of course it's not fun if you don't, so do it. You get to swap cards with somebody else and you get to know what your new role is. The troublemaker, she gets to swap 2 other players' cards, whoever she decides. She doesn't get to see what she did. So she just literally causes trouble, swaps 2 people's cards. And that's that. Cool. So we'll play with this. We'll see how it goes. All right, you guys ready?
So quick question. Like,
Yes.
So there are 3 cards in the middle.
3 center cards, yes.
And there are 2 werewolf cards. So
Yes.
I know we went over this. It's possible for all the werewolves to be in the center.
Be in the center. It is totally possible for no one to be a werewolf. It is a possibility. It's pretty uncommon, but it totally can happen. So 2 werewolf cards can be in the middle. And if that is the case, here's how the village team wins. If everyone agrees, if we all 5 believe there are no werewolves, like let's say someone's like, I'm the seer and I literally saw 2 werewolves in the middle, right? And we're all like, you know what? We're going to go ahead and be on the village team. We all choose, if everybody votes for one person. So if I vote for Peter, Peter votes for Brian, Brian votes for Amanda, Amanda votes for Lisa, Lisa votes for Dani. If we coordinate that, where everyone gets 1 vote, nobody dies and the village team wins. But of course,
yeah, I will contest that in the history of this game, like that must have never happened. There's no way everybody would trust each other to that level of
it's happened. I've played several games where that happened. Yeah. And
where everyone
did it and everyone was a villager. It's happened. Yeah. But of course, if there is one werewolf who's been tricking everybody, they will obviously disrupt that and not die and get a villager killed. So it's possible, and I've seen it happen before. But again, it's like, what if there's a solo werewolf, gets to look in the middle, sees the seer card, claims to be the seer, says, I saw the werewolves in the middle, you know, so it's just, that's how it goes. So we'll try this out. We'll see how this goes. For this next portion, I'm going to ask you guys to put my screen share away so you guys can't see my screen share. The screen share is for the audience view, not for you guys. If you guys are looking at my screen share, obviously that kind of ruins the game. So don't look at my screen, put it away somewhere where you can't see it, minimize that window. And we'll go ahead and get started here. You guys ready? Y'all ready to play? Wait, I'm gonna start my music. Ready? How's the volume?
Good. Are you guys good? You want to turn it a bit higher?
Yeah. Higher? He's confusing me over here.
It's really quiet.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good, but I've heard that it's a little bit quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. I will turn it up just a teensy weensy bit. How's that? Better?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep,
All right, let's go ahead and give this a go. So you guys all have to hit. Let's go. Awesome. Okay, everyone's got my screen share away? Yes, confirm?
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
We are waiting for Peter. Okay, and now night has fallen. We all do our actions. So depending on what role everyone is, they're going to see different actions throughout the night. And I, of course, always like to make weird clicking noises and typing noises.
Is that because you're a werewolf?
It's because I'm a villager. Very busy attending to the village. Okay, day has risen and we now have 5 minutes to talk about what happened. I'm also going to pause the music while we have our discussion. Okay, what happened in the night? Yeah, there doesn't have to be a leader to the conversation, and especially not me because I was a villager.
So I was the robber, and I stole Amanda's card, and she's a villager.
That's a lie. He totally stole my card. Why would he not steal my card? He definitely stole my card. No, actually, I was a villager, so that wouldn't have mattered. But he must have stolen Amanda's card and claimed to be the robber, and they're both werewolves. That's what happened. Okay.
I was definitely a villager, so I am not entirely sure what's happening or if I was to see something.
Brian and Amanda are werewolves. All right, let's continue the discussion. Peter, what role were you?
How many villagers are there in total?
There's 3.
I was a villager.
Okay,
So if
and Amanda
that's
and
true-
Peter are
If
all
that's
villagers.
the truth, then there are 3
Doesn't
villagers
that
on the
make
table
me
already.
the villager and Amanda the robber, though? Or
If
does
you're
it-
telling
Now,
the truth,
yes.
so far all cards are accounted for.
No.
If everybody's telling the truth.
Oh, Lisa's claiming to be a villager. We got a werewolf.
Classic.
I'm only claiming to be a villager insofar as I was the seer.
Okay.
And I looked in the 2 center cards because I followed Dani's advice,
yes.
and Brian is lying.
Oh!
Okay, what did you see? What did you see?
Werewolf.
I
That's
saw the robber and I saw the troublemaker in the center.
Oh, so literally no cards can be changed, and Brian is for sure a werewolf. And Amanda might be a werewolf with him, but it doesn't matter. We should just vote for Brian.
Pretty much.
This game really seems to not work out for me. I can't tell if it's poor strategy or
No.
poor luck.
Well, definitely poor
It's
strategy
both.
on that. Like you
Yeah.
shouldn't have
What
immediately.
should I have done instead, Danny?
I'll
Well,
show
you should-
It made sense,
I'll show
except
you
for the
when
fact
I
that I
show
was
you.
able to prove him
Tell me-
wrong.
Help me out now. So I can do better in the future.
No, I'll
You're
help
not,
you
you're not
out.
into that.
When I'm the werewolf, I'll show you how to do it.
Okay, I see how it is.
Oh, thanks.
But I will say, like, there's obviously an element of luck involved, right? Like,
Yes.
if you're gonna make a bluff, you're taking a chance.
You're taking a
And-
chance.
Yeah.
and
And it was a
that-
very large risk that you just took.
right. That's the thing. We don't know the cards to recognize how big the risks are. Dani played us that one time because it was a speed round, and so she waited till everybody else said what they said. She took
Mhm.
no risks because she literally heard everybody else's stuff. It should have been rung bells like suspicion for us when I said immediately, I'm like, let's all say what we are. And then he said, no. You know what I mean? That's immediately suspicious. That's immediately suspicious.
Yeah, well,
Um,
it's difficult because if you call people out on what they are a lot of the time, if I'm a villager, it's really easy for me to just say, I'm a villager, right? But
Right.
like when you're the werewolf, it's so difficult. Like you can just
You-
claim to be a villager, but then, it's like,
Yeah, you really have to know the cards to minimize your risk, but we
It's
don't.
true.
Like, right? So we're just taking risks if we're trying to bluff our way out of it. That's basically where we're at.
yeah.
We're all assuming that Brian's a werewolf.
It's
I wonder if
also
he like did
so
something
uncommon
something really strange to screw us right now.
that
and then-
troublemaker and robber both would be in the center. Like that's
Yeah.
uncommon. Okay, we have to vote for Brian. I'm skipping to the vote because I'm ready for this. I mean, I'm gonna vote for Brian. We have the majority with me, Peter, and Lisa voting for Brian.
Basically.
Unless Peter was a werewolf, but then Amanda should vote for Brian. So I think either way we have the majority. Okay.
Well, do we trust Lisa?
I
Right. That's
don't know.
The
only reason-
Oopsies, you skipped
No.
the voting.
The
We're
only
talking.
reason I trust Lisa is because Brian immediately gave up and said, I don't know how to play the game. If Brian had
I
played
mean, I don't know how to play the game either.
Yeah, can we just go to the next round?
Lisa, I maybe would have, yeah. Oh, Amanda was a werewolf. Look at that.
Why Brian immediately was like, I got Amanda's card.
It was a good try. It was
Yeah.
a good try. He tried to take
I don't
it
know.
off.
You didn't seem to think it was a good try.
No, I didn't.
No,
think
you
so.
got screwed.
Right.
I mean, everything was confusing, right? And I'm like, we had to hear everybody out, but Lisa came in and basically
It was a
with that knowledge,
50-50.
like destroyed that gamble.
I think
right?
a 50-50 is too big of a gamble because with you and Amanda both being wolves, that's 6 remaining cards. And you took the gamble that one of the 3 of us wasn't the robber. And I think that gamble was too large, 50-50.
Got it. Okay.
Mhm. All right, we're going to restart. I think what we're going to do is I would actually like to play with other roles besides the villager because I think that would create more dynamicness to the game. So let's see if we can change it up a little bit.
You can play a game where there's 0 villagers or 0 like plain villagers.
Yes, you can. Everyone can have a role, but it gets a little bit too chaotic
Crazy.
sometimes.
Yeah.
But with
Yeah,
5
that's messy.
people, the chaos can actually work well. And with 5 people, it will work. With tons of people, it gets too complicated when there's a lot of chaos. But with 5 people, chaos can actually work. So we can throw in the Insomniac. So the Insomniac is really similar to a villager. She doesn't do that much more, except she looks at her card at the end of the round. So she's the last player to wake up. and she gets to look at her own card, and that's it.
Which could a lot of times would do nothing. It's literally the same card that you saw, except you can see if somebody swapped you somehow.
Right. You know if you like got swapped as a wolf, and you can play differently.
It's very possible that nobody swapped you. You just saw yourself, and then you saw yourself again, and nothing really changed, right?
And then another really, really interesting card to play with is the Tanner. The Tanner hates his life and wants to die. But is on the village team. So the Tanner tries to make everyone kind of think that he's a werewolf, but the villagers don't want to vote
the best Tanner that there is.
I feel like we might need to put the Tanner in there just for Brian's.
Let's play one round with Tanner.
Wait. Help me understand what the Tanner's role is. If they're a villager and they want people,
they don't have a nighttime role. No nighttime role. Just like a villager, but wants to die.
Well, how does that make sense? If you vote for the Tanner,
the village
and everybody kills
loses.
They win.
The werewolves win and village loses if village votes for Tanner. But Tanner wins on his own if he dies. So Tanner is like weird. On their own team.
I see.
It's really weird. Let's try it next round. We'll throw in the Insomniac. So again, we're going to eliminate one villager, put in the Insomniac. All she does, she has a last nighttime roll. She looks at her own card. That's it. All right, y'all ready? God. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Also, put my screen share away if it's up. Oh, I have to play our ambient music. There we go. I like the music.
Harry Potter vibe. I shouldn't say any words that might get us copyright infringement.
Ooh. We are ready. Okay. Who would like to open the discussion?
Dani, would you care to go first?
I was a seer.
What did you see?
I think I will withhold this information for right now.
Sounds like Dani is the werewolf.
I was gonna say that sounds like the exact same tactic she used last week.
Would anyone like to contest my seerness? Please. That's what I thought.
Sounded like Brian did.
I will withhold this information for now until a few more of you decide to reveal what you may or may not have been. And this is how I hold werewolves by their throats. Any other villagers want to help out the village team?
I will say that I was a villager. Okay. I do not know the strategy here in terms of villagers withholding that piece of information, so I will just go ahead and say it. I was a villager.
Villagers withholding their information doesn't really do anything. Villagers know absolutely nothing, so you don't really get a lot.
Right. Well, I mean, it helps, I think, sometimes just to screw with the werewolves to not like give them too much information to screw with things. But if nobody's saying anything, I'll go ahead and say I was a villager for sure.
Other people should definitely be talking based on what I saw.
Okay. I was the Insomniac. I am still the Insomniac.
Okay. Amanda or Brian?
I was a villager.
Okay, sure you were. Brian?
I was also a villager.
Wow, lots of villagers. Okay.
Isn't everyone
I don't
a villager?
No, I mean it's theoretically possible.
I thought there were only 2.
It's not.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, now there's only 2, so somebody's definitely lying.
Right.
Wait a second.
There were 3, you said, but now you added the Insomniac, no?
There's only 2 villagers.
Yeah, there's only 2 villagers.
Peter, Brian, and Amanda have all claimed villager, and it is not possible to have 3 villagers.
Dani, what did you see as the seer?
I saw one werewolf in the center. So there is only possibly one werewolf. It is possible. I only saw one werewolf in the middle. That there is another werewolf card. That's possible.
I thought you were allowed to look at 2.
But the fact that there are, I saw a second card. But the fact that one of you is lying, I know that someone is definitely a werewolf.
Right. Somebody's lying.
How do you know the second werewolf card isn't?
Because one of you lied.
Yeah, we don't
That's how I
have three.
know.
We don't have 3
If there
plain
were 2
villagers that aren't
werewolf
another role.
cards in the middle, no one would have lied.
Got you.
Right. At this point, everybody has revealed a role and somebody is lying.
So this is where the standpoint, this is where the like standoff comes, is like all 3 of you have literally said villager, which villagers know nothing. So like we can't move forward. We just have to literally assume that one of you is lying and we don't know who.
So who do we think is lying?
So it can't. Lisa has no real reason to lie in this particular role. It's me, Amanda, and Brian. Like we're the only ones
It's
where it's
definitely
like
one of you.
logically,
Just
right?
gonna-
I
Unless
also did
somebody
not see an
swapped stuff.
insomniac in the middle. So Lisa either got lucky or is telling the truth. I saw a robber in the middle. So
Okay.
no one stole anyone's card. So the troublemaker looks like is also in the center. And so one of you is a werewolf and 2 of you are villagers. And that's it. So the question is, how do we figure out which of the 3 of you is a liar? How do we do that? I always default to Brian being.
I was gonna say, I
That's
knew
a
to
good
bring this up,
default,
but
honestly.
Brian,
I wouldn't blame you.
I feel like if you were actually a villager, Brian, you would have jumped on that immediately and be like, no, I'm actually a villager this time.
We're very
we,
quiet.
we have 40 seconds to determine this piece of information.
I mean,
I'm just letting you guys
Yeah.
know.
Or Peter, you were looking a little sneaky. I don't know.
Peter came
I'm
forward
not-
quickly.
I am not. Yeah, if you're going purely by order, I am a
It's not
villager, and
about
I said it
order.
first,
Right.
right?
Yeah,
Brian came forward last round real quickly, right? It's not order based, but I just get the feeling Peter isn't lying to me this round. I definitely think Amanda or Brian is our liar. The question is which of the 2 of them.
And it's only
Yeah,
one. It
15
can only be
seconds.
one.
We should,
It's only
we should
one.
pick either me or Amanda. I mean, it is Amanda, but you're welcome to pick me. That's fine.
Wow. I feel like you were very quiet and I don't trust that.
I feel like Amanda is really.
Game.
Yeah.
Can you guys slam each other? Okay, we can't talk about it. We have to.
Yeah, we can't talk about it anymore. We just got to choose.
Ah.
It's hard.
I
Yep.
would need more time. I need more time.
I win.
Oh, Brian, why didn't you defend yourself more? I would.
What
feel
am I
like-
gonna say? I lose every game. I've accepted that as the equilibrium.
No,
So I'm
no,
saying we can just
no,
sort of
it's
keep
harder,
doing it this way.
Brian.
Well, you have to try for it, Brian.
It was just
Okay.
too perfect. He was like, nah, I probably whatever. Me.
Yeah, it's fine. Like I accept.
Yeah,
you know.
I did not feel like I had enough information to make that vote.
What?
I knew I was
Both
the villager.
villagers
but-
players. Like literally, the 3 cards in the middle were troublemaker, robber, and werewolf, and 2 of y'all were villagers. Like, ugh. Okay. I have an idea how to make this a little bit more interesting and to give everyone a role. So we can basically do exactly the same thing, but instead of using villagers, we can use the Masons. So Masons are like villagers. They're really similar, except the Masons get a nighttime role. The Masons get to see who else is a Mason, and that's it. That's all the Masons do. Masons get information. It's a confirmation role. So if you see another Mason, you're like, I know that guy's a Mason. It can also play in well with werewolves who can like be like, we were Masons, right? So it gives the werewolves a competitive advantage too. And if you only see one Mason, you have information. You kind of have almost seer information that there's a Mason card in the center.
So at this point, there are no villagers on the table.
No villagers.
Okay.
You
So
cannot.
if somebody
claim
says they're a villager,
They
you know
are
something is
lying.
Yes.
No villagers. Everyone has a role now. So it does make the game just like a little bit more interesting. We'll see how this goes. We've upped the ante just a little bit. Maybe next time we'll upgrade to using the Tanner because it's hilarious. And maybe that's Brian's key to victory is being Tanner. Okay. I also think with the Mason that maybe we should change the seer to apprentice seer. And the reason I say that is because the seer gets a lot of information. She gets to see 2 middle cards. The apprentice seer just gets to see 1. So that could kind of take a little bit of, Well, let's see how this goes. And if the seer is making it too easy for the villagers to win, we can downgrade to apprentice seer.
Yeah,
Does that sound like a plan? Okay, so here's what we have. Let's go. Now, again, everybody has a nighttime roll this time. Ooh, I'm gonna play my music. Yeah. All right, and if you do have my screen share up, please go ahead and put that down. Hopefully you guys just aren't putting it up. I think the troublemaker has been in the middle every time up until potentially now, which has made the game less fun. Okay. We've
Just
made
when the
it.
music shifts.
Ah. Okay.
Okay,
I
no
know something.
villagers.
I know something. It's very exciting that I know something. Because I thought I would know nothing, but I know something. I know that the troublemaker swapped me with someone.
Oh, because you're the insomniac?
I was the insomniac.
Right.
Oh.
Then how do you know
Shit.
that?
Wait, who was the troublemaker and who they swapped me with? Because I want to hear what they say.
But I want to hear everybody else first.
Okay.
Oh shit. I thought I had this game on lock.
You do not.
I was the seer and I looked at Dani's card.
No, why?
Because you tell everybody to look in the middle. Like I was just want because
And you have nothing, do you, Peter? You have nothing.
I had something.
You saw that I was
You
the
were
insomniac.
You
You saw that I was the insomniac.
Yeah.
So hold on.
Wait. He did
My
not
story-
actually confirm that.
My story can be confirmed because the troublemaker can confirm my story. Troublemaker's on the village team. Troublemaker swapped me with someone. Whoever the troublemaker swapped me with was the robber. I'm the robber now. So who did the troublemaker swap me with? Troublemaker is safe. Person who's the robber is safe. We can actually win this game right now.
Wait a minute. I was the robber.
So who swapped Amanda's card with my card? Was it Brian or Lisa?
I took Brian's card and he was a Mason.
Wait,
Oh,
what?
somebody's stories are not adding up.
Wait a second.
Wait.
Yeah. I swapped with Brian and he
So
was
she was
So
the robber, and she's saying she took Brian's card, and Brian was a Mason. Well, I'm the robber now, which means the troublemaker swapped me. So wait, was Lisa the troublemaker?
How does that work? What is the hierarchy of how this works? Because I thought
Yeah. Who goes first in terms of the
Robber
the
goes
order?
first. Robber goes first. So Seer actually goes first. Seer goes first. So Peter looked at my card first, and then Amanda stole Brian's card, and he was a Mason. So now
I'm a Mason now.
you're a Mason. Wait, so that means the troublemaker swapped me and Brian.
Yep.
Why is Brian and Lisa not saying anything?
Yeah, why are you guys so quiet? Brian's
So
aware.
Brian is
Feel free.
You have to say something.
You have to. We need more information. Something's not adding, or maybe it is adding up, and I'm just not getting the
waiting.
order.
I'm waiting for more optimal time.
To say what?
So I was a Mason.
Yes. Can
Uh,
confirm.
Amanda stole your card.
Yes.
And so Amanda's a Mason now, and you were the robber. And then Lisa swapped me and you, which is hilarious, Lisa.
Yep. That's
And
why I'm
now-
smiling.
Brian, you're the insomniac, and I'm the robber now.
Is it
So it's-
possible
And that
to
makes
have no
Lisa the
werewolves?
troublemaker.
It
Is
is
that right?
possible to have no werewolves. I know a troublemaker had to be in the game because my card got swapped.
I
I
know
did not-
Amanda is telling.
I mean,
the
now I
truth.
realize how stupid it is not to look at the middle. Like I
Yeah,
haven't-
thank you, Peter. Now you realize looking at my card gained you nothing.
Mhm.
So wait, we actually
So
might be
either that or Peter is the werewolf.
That's
That's
possible.
Saying
but-
he
true.
could get a card.
But that would have been really lucky. But Peter knew that I was the insomniac. Like he was so sure about his
Okay.
outcome.
Was he so
Okay.
sure? Did he just go
seemed
along
sure.
with what you said because you went first and said I was the
Mm.
insomniac?
Yep.
But I
She
didn't
went
say
first,
what I
yeah.
was. And then he was
She
like,
went
well, I
first
thought I
and
had
said-
this on lock.
Yeah.
No, you
was-
said I know what I am, which is the insomniac. So you gave your card away.
No, I'm not the insomniac anymore.
You
Hmm?
were.
But you were.
You gave it away right off the bat. And so
Yeah.
he could just be
You
fine.
didn't give away right off the bat. You did say it before I said it, but
I don't
I
don't
didn't-
think so.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't look in the middle.
This might
Okay.
be all villagers. It could be a game.
The
Mhm.
probability
Is
is
everybody-
higher that
Yeah.
Peter is a werewolf than he is.
I don't
guess
think
he
so.
would
I think
be-
based off of the language that I used and the way that he responded, I don't believe he's a werewolf.
Is
Right.
everybody accounted for?
Do we think
If
that the
if
werewolf-
everybody's telling the truth, is everybody accounted for?
That would okay. We've
Like
got a
every single other
robber,
game we've
an
played
insomniac,
has to have
troublemaker,
contradictions.
Mason. We
There's
would
no
we would have had
contradiction.
2 werewolves and a mason in the middle.
Right.
We have 20 seconds.
well,
Wait,
actually,
everybody.
Brian, you were a Mason. Who was the other Mason? 'Cause you
Yeah,
had
I was the only
that.
one. So the other
Mhm.
one would be in the middle.
Okay,
Mhm.
all right.
So it's a
that's-
Mason and 2
Yeah.
werewolves in the middle. Okay, so wait. I vote for Peter. Peter vote for Brian. Brian vote for Amanda. Amanda vote for Lisa. Lisa vote for me.
Okay.
You guys got
Wait,
it?
we're all voting for
I
Peter,
think
you said?
I'm voting for Lisa. It says no more time. It says I lose.
Peter! Oh, you so close.
You guys had it.
I
We
told
didn't have
you,
enough
Dani,
time.
you gave it
No,
away.
I did.
You guys had it. You guys had me. I was like, oh
I
shit,
did.
I'm running out of time.
I was so sure because of the way that Peter opened up and he
So
was like,
I was the werewolf,
Right,
and I saw
alright.
that there was a seer in the middle, so that's why I
Oh.
offered it up real quick that I was a seer.
The
And then I
seer
said
was
I
in
only
the
saw one
middle.
card. Like,
That was good, man. Well done. I trusted him, guys. I'm sorry. That was my fault. I trusted
and
Peter.
to be clear, I have been the villager every single time, like every single game we've played. I don't think I've even had like even a remotely different role. So,
Wow. Darn. Okay.
and
all
I was
right.
the only werewolf. So.
See, Brian, that's the way that you do it.
Hey, I was
I-
a werewolf.
No. To be clear, it's way easier for me to make that move because I luckily
You
saw
saw
that there was
the
a
seer.
seer.
It
The
was a
seer
little
screws
lucky,
everything
for
up.
sure.
Any kind of lie that you make, if there's a seer, now you're going up against a person and their word as like I was the seer and I saw that you're not that card. You have so many
Right.
risks if you're
Seeing
gonna
the seer as a solo werewolf is legitimately your best chance. of
Yeah,
winning.
that's so
How-
crazy.
How did you get to see the seer?
The solo
werewolf
werewolf
gets to
gets
see
look
one-
at one center
yeah.
card.
Yeah.
Because I don't see the other
Oh.
werewolf. It's such a bizarre set of circumstances. It
Okay.
really worked out.
Yeah.
And the chance that I got to see the fact that there was a seer means nobody could call me out on that lie. It's just
And
That's
Brian was
really-
like, chances are, odds wise. And I was just
But,
like, no.
but you guys are sniffing me out. I was like,
Mhm.
everybody's
you
accounted
kill?
for.
Yep.
Peter, who did you vote for? Who did you kill?
I voted for Brian.
Oh.
I mean, I just followed exactly the
Brian not only lost, but he died.
Yeah.
I've been voted the werewolf, I believe, like 5 out of the 5 times. So it's
Every
not,
single game. We're sorry, Brian.
Yep.
Okay.
No, you're all losing because you keep picking me. So I would think
Well,
that
we
would
won the
start
first time
affecting
by
the
picking
behavior, but
you.
not yet.
hmm
Do we want to take the Tanner into play here?
We could try it.
Or do you
It's our
think
last
it's too
round, right?
complicated?
Let's do it.
So we can take out
Alright.
the Insomniac and throw in the Tanner. Why does it say select one less? What have I done?
Brian, I think, left the game.
Yeah, I left for a second. I tried to get back in, but it says disconnected.
Darn, Brian.
Yeah.
Oh, darn it, Brian. Hold on. Are
It's
you
the
guys
only
still
way. It's a Zen move. He's like the only way you can, win the game is by not playing.
Okay,
Oh.
I can rejoin this game. Brian, can you rejoin this game or no?
Yep.
Okay.
It says game is in progress.
Hold on.
You have
Reset
to
game.
end this game. Yeah.
Okay,
and
can
then
you
Brian
join
can
now?
join. Yeah.
There we go.
There you go.
Okay. Sweet. Okay, so we'll try like this. So this time we're basically just taking out the Insomniac and throwing in the Tanner. Again, the Tanner is attempting to get themselves killed, but they're on the village team. So keep this in mind. The Tanner, if they make it obvious, they're like, I'm the werewolf, right? Then we're gonna know that's not the werewolf. Village team does not want to kill the Tanner. Village team loses if they kill the Tanner. So now village team loses if we don't kill a werewolf or if we kill the Tanner. Also, werewolf team loses if the Tanner dies. So werewolf team does not want the Tanner to die.
So to be clear, the strategy, the very
The
screwed up
werewolf
strategy.
team loses if the Tanner dies?
Everyone loses if the Tanner dies, except the Tanner who wins. The
The
Tanner
werewolves
very-
really don't want the Tanner to die?
They don't.
It's not
no.
logical. But the really screwed up strategy, now that the Tanner's on the table, Danny, correct me if I'm wrong, is a werewolf wants to pretend they're a Tanner, right?
Not
That
really,
way-
because the
Like
villagers.
that throws people
well,
off their
yeah.
scent.
So they want to like kind of pretend a little.
There's
bit.
an extra layer there where you
Right.
can try and
Mhm.
like maneuver
Okay.
yourself.
So let's read about the Tanner really quickly, y'all, just so you can see. The Tanner hates his job so much that he wants to die. The Tanner only wins if he dies. If the Tanner dies and no werewolves die, the werewolves do not win. If the Tanner dies and a werewolf also dies, the village team wins too. So the Tanner is considered a member of the village team, but is not on their team. So if the Tanner dies when all werewolves are in the center, the village team loses. Tanner team is not on the werewolf or village team, literally on an island. So if the Tanner dies, everyone loses except the Tanner who wins. So that's the idea. So it makes it kind of complicated. Y'all ready?
Okay.
I think
Weird strategies sort of emerge with the Tanner. All right, here we go. Let's give it a try. Also, hopefully turn off my screen share in case, put it down if you had it up. And we're going to play the spooky music again.
I'm trying to read people's faces.
No metagame. Poker face. Poker face, y'all. All right, we're waiting for Lisa to confirm.
Oh, sorry.
There you go. You're okay. Oh, and we're up.
I was the seer and I saw something very interesting.
Okay.
Did you see from the middle or did you see from a person?
Let's talk about it later.
Okay.
I think they call that foreshadowing.
They do. Okay. Man. Awkward silence while we all just stare at each other. That's cool. Yeah.
Well, I want to ask a question. Was anybody a troublemaker?
Me? It was me. I was
Oh.
troublemaker. Oh no! I definitely made trouble.
What did you do?
I don't want to say, but I switched Brian's card with someone's. Obviously. But I won't say who. Brian, were you the werewolf? I switched your card.
No, I was a villager.
There is no villager, Brian.
I was a werewolf.
Oh,
Okay, 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 okay,
Or
okay.
he's the
Let's-
tanner. Or he's the tanner.
let's-
Wait, no. He's not the. He can't be the. If I swapped his card and he was the tanner,
Mm-hmm.
he would not play like the tanner anymore.
Okay.
well, assuming you're telling the truth. which
Assuming that
am
I'm
assuming.
Right.
I mean, to be
Assuming.
fair, would you imagine me as a troublemaker not switching Brian's card?
Okay. So let's hammer
Good
this
point.
out. I was a seer and I saw a robber and a mason in the middle. That's
Wait a
a
minute.
fact.
No, I was the seer.
Right. So Amanda said that first. And she's lying. And I asked if you're a troublemaker, Dani, because I need to know if Amanda's card got switched. There was a robber in the middle. So that's one possibility of swapping, and that's gone. You're saying you're a troublemaker, Dani. Who did you swap with, Brian? We can wait for Lisa to say what she's going to say.
Lisa, tell us what you're gonna say.
But somebody's lying. I'm just saying right now, somebody's lying between me and Amanda. I'm putting that out there right now.
Mhm.
And I'm just trying to figure out if there's any swaporama kind of stuff.
I was the seer, and I saw Dani was the troublemaker.
No, you didn't. That's a lie.
Why would that be a lie?
I don't believe that at all. Lisa, tell us what you were.
Wait a minute. Does a seer get to see? Is it one other person's card?
player's card,
One
or two
person's
center
card
cards?
The middle.
or two in the middle. It's one or the other.
Okay.
Come on,
Amanda has
Dani, you were the
troublemaker.
troublemaker. So I was a werewolf.
Are you telling the truth?
Yes. If you tell me who you switched me with, I will tell you who the other werewolf is.
Oh,
'Cause there were
interesting
two.
proposition.
Wait. Hold on. Lisa has not spoken.
I want to hear what Lisa has to
And
say,
I
and then I'll
will
tell
and
you.
I will
Brian.
tell you the truth if you switched me with
Mhm.
I will tell you the truth if you switched me with someone who isn't a werewolf, and I will lie if you switched me with the other werewolf.
Oh
Who did
It was
you-
a Mason.
no! And you saw no other Mason.
Right.
Very convenient for you to wait that long. Okay, Brian.
I'm amused with all of the like.
Brian,
You're a little
I
bit
think I just
sketchy, and
figured
Peter's a
the
little
game
bit
out.
sketchy, and Amanda's definitely
Maybe
a
I
little bit
shouldn't have
sketchy.
said my strategy out loud.
But I like the fact
figured
I like the fact that you're laying it all out. Like it's clear
Brian?
what choices you have to make.
Brian,
Mhm.
I switched you with Peter.
Cool.
Oh shit. Well, so that means I'm a
so
werewolf.
Peter's a werewolf.
Werewolf.
Okay.
Lisa's the other werewolf.
Brian is the
Wait.
other werewolf because Peter was lying about being the seer. I'm the seer.
I don't know why these two both claim to be the seer. Me and
Yeah.
Lisa
Right.
are the werewolves.
Yeah. Wait.
What?
So one of them is
What
a
are you
tanner.
Lying.
One of
Somebody's
them's
a tanner. Somebody's a
Okay.
tanner. Somebody's a
So-
tanner.
So we know Peter's a
either
wolf.
way, Peter and Lisa are the werewolves. So who do we vote for?
I think we have to vote for Peter because he's the guaranteed wolf.
Well, so is I guess
But you,
I'm
'cause
okay.
you
Right.
were-
If you're telling the truth, I'm a
Peter,
guarantee.
we vote for Peter. This is hard. Is Amanda
No
the
talking.
tanner?
No talking.
I know everyone's
No
going to vote for me in the end, so it's fine. But
Oh. Peter and Lisa. So Amanda
I-
must have
yeah.
been the tanner.
Yeah, she was a tanner.
Damn
She
it,
was a tanner.
Amanda.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
A lie. You
Wait.
didn't tell me.
Yeah. Like the fact that you offered that up so quickly was like,
Mhm.
oh, the tanner is so confusing. It's so confusing to
That was
think that possibility.
I know. The card literally just says your goal is to get the others to kill you.
Okay, so
Okay,
if I'm a werewolf,
okay.
which I wasn't, I became a werewolf, right?
You did,
It
yes.
would and that whole scenario sort of flipped on me. Would it be beneficial for me to kill a tanner? Would it be beneficial? Like I already was gonna lose, but like
You-
what would happen if I tried to kill a tanner?
You would have to try to convince us that Brian wasn't actually a werewolf and that he's like, well, but it would be impossible to convince that he's
Yeah.
a tanner, right?
At that
I guess
point,
you just have to
Yeah.
convince him that
Brian
I'm the
timed
tanner.
it so.
You'd have
Brian
to
timed
convince
it
people
so
that I was lying
well.
about swapping or something like
Right,
that.
Right,
Which
right,
I did consider lying and saying that I swapped Brian and Amanda. I was gonna lie about it to see, but I figured
Yeah.
like it wouldn't actually produce much of a different
The
outcome.
tanner, man, I'm like, Like I didn't even consider that. And I'm like, well,
I
Amanda's
wanted
clearly
to pick
lying, so
someone
I
who
just need to
didn't
figure out
It
the
was
rest of
jarring for me.
this.
I knew who the werewolves were. So
Right.
so I know you're not pretending to be a werewolf.
Right. Right. I was like, what? Yeah, I was
Yeah,
thinking, I was like, I'm not talking literally because I'm like, what is Amanda doing?
In hindsight, Brian and Lisa were like, "What the fuck?" Like as me and Amanda are like fighting this out, Brian and Lisa were like, "What? What's going on? Let them kill themselves."
Yeah, I think I love that Brian completely like gave us his strategy. He's like, if you tell me you swap me with the other wolf, I'll lie to you.
They call that thinking out loud, you know?
No, but it's good.
Yeah.
It's good because you're like if it's all about like lying and everybody's like questioning your lie, but if you give people the honesty of like, this is when I will lie to you, now people are like evaluating this from a logical perspective as opposed to like,
What would you
look
have said
fishy.
if I
You
said
look fishy.
yeah. Brian, what would you have said if I had said I swapped your car with Lisa? Because we would have voted for Lisa anyways.
Yeah, we would have ended up picking Amanda probably. I would have picked Amanda because she was like suspect werewolf already.
Yeah.
But we would have
Maybe you
voted
would
for
have picked
Lisa
me.
no matter what, because that's the sure choice, because you were a werewolf, right?
Well, I would have said that the other werewolf was Amanda.
Yeah, if you lied in.
But why would we vote for the other werewolf when we could vote for the confirmed werewolf, which would be Lisa at that point? See what I mean?
Oh, yeah, that's a good
Yeah,
point.
we would have lost anyway if we all voted for Amanda.
Because we voted for the confirmed werewolf.
Not
which
as
is Peter in
clever
this
as I
case.
thought. It worked
Yeah.
out though.
It worked out. It worked out.
I think
Man.
you were damned either way. Well, you won, but I think Lisa was damned either way.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's funny. That was a good one. That wound up being really interesting. I'm glad that Amanda threw in a curveball as the Tanner and got us all to be like, what's going on?
I like how quickly she committed to that and how I didn't realize that whatsoever. I'm like, but I'm the seer. Like she must be the werewolf.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good game, y'all. That was fun.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye to all of our lovely YouTube viewers and adoring fans. We'll see you next time for After Hours. I think we'll probably try playing the werewolf game again and maybe throw in some more interesting roles now that we kind of have a baseline for how to play the game.
We should throw in all the roles but a werewolf. They're just all
Go
villagers.
werewolves!
And we're
Well,
just
to
guessing
be
what the hell's
fair,
going on.
Look at all these rules that are here that we haven't explored, right?
Alpha wolf, mystic wolf, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This one is by far the most confusing and most terrifying role is the doppelganger. She, before anyone else goes, looks at another player's card and becomes what that player is. So there can be 3 werewolves, there can be 2 seers.
That's confusing, yeah.
Crazy.
Is
There
that
can be
different than copycat?
I think I don't actually even know what copycat is, so
We'll figure out
which
next
is
time.
weird that I don't know, but we'll find out. Yeah, next time on After Hours. Yeah, tune in next time to find out what is the copycat. We'll see. See y'all next time. Bye.